So imagine this: you are holding a phone that costs around €170, and yet somehow it is trying to act like a flagship in almost every single way. This is the Infinix Note Edge, and honestly, this might be one of the most interesting budget phones of 2026, because it is not just about specs on paper, it is about how all of this actually comes together in real life, and whether it truly feels like a premium experience or just another spec sheet warrior. And before we go any further, if you enjoy real honest tech reviews like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like, because it genuinely helps the channel grow and keeps videos like this coming. Now, the first thing you notice is the design, and this phone is surprisingly slim at just 7.2 millimeters and around 190 grams, which means it feels light in the hand, but still solid enough to not feel cheap, and that balance is actually harder to achieve than you think. The back is plastic, yes, but it does not scream budget. The finish, especially in colors like lunar titanium or silk green, gives it that premium vibe. And when you pair that with IP65 water and dust resistance, it already starts punching above its price, because most phones in this range do not even bother with proper protection. Then you turn on the display, and this is where things start to get really interesting. You are looking at a 6.78-inch AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate. And not just that, the brightness goes insanely high, up to 4,500 nits peak, which means even under direct sunlight, this thing stays visible, and sharp colors are vibrant, blacks are deep, and scrolling feels smooth and fluid thanks to that high refresh rate. And honestly, for content consumption, whether it is YouTube, Netflix, or even just social media, this display delivers way more than expected at this price point. Performance is where a lot of budget phones usually compromise, but here you get the Dimensity 7100 chipset, which is actually quite capable for everyday use. Apps open quickly, multitasking feels smooth, and even gaming is surprisingly decent. You are not getting flagship-level gaming, of course, but for titles like PUBG or Call of Duty Mobile, it handles them well on medium to high settings without major issues. And with 8 GB of RAM, everything just feels stable and responsive, which is exactly what most users need. Now let us talk about software, because this is something people care about more than ever. The phone runs Android 16 with XOS 16 on top, and the good thing is you are promised up to 3 major Android updates, which is honestly impressive at this price point. The UI itself is feature-packed, sometimes maybe a bit too packed, but if you like customization and extra features, you will enjoy it. And over time, Infinix has been improving optimization so it feels smoother than older versions. Cameras are always a big talking point, and here you get a 50-megapixel main sensor, and in good lighting conditions it actually performs well. Photos come out sharp with decent dynamic range and colors that look pleasing without being overly processed. It is not going to compete with flagship cameras, but for social media and everyday shots, it does the job reliably. Video goes up to 1440p, which is a nice bonus, and the 13-megapixel selfie camera is good enough for video calls and casual selfies. But here is where this phone really starts to stand out. Battery life: a massive 6,500 mAh battery, which is honestly crazy in a slim phone like this. And in real-world usage, this easily lasts a full day and even pushes into the second day for lighter users. And when you do need to charge, you get 45W fast charging, which can get you to around 50% in just under half an hour. Plus, you even get reverse charging, which is something you usually see in higher-end devices, and it actually comes in handy more than you would expect. Audio is another area where this phone quietly surprises you. Stereo speakers tuned by JBL, and they sound loud, clear, and immersive whether you are watching videos or playing games. And while there is no headphone jack, the inclusion of high-resolution audio support makes up for it if you are using wireless headphones. Now I know what you are thinking: this all sounds too good, so what is the catch? And honestly, there are a few small compromises. The build is still plastic, which some people may not like, and the camera system is fairly basic, without ultra-wide or telephoto options. And while performance is good, it is not designed for heavy hardcore gaming over long sessions. But again, you have to remember the price point, and suddenly these compromises make a lot more sense. And before we wrap up, if you are finding this review helpful and you like these deep dive honest takes, go ahead and hit subscribe and like the video, because it really helps me keep bringing more of these reviews to you. So overall, the Infinix Note Edge feels like a phone that is trying to redefine what budget devices can be in 2026. It combines a premium-looking design, a fantastic display, solid performance, huge battery, and useful extras into a package that is honestly hard to ignore at this price. It is not perfect, but it does a lot more right than wrong, and for most people looking for a reliable, stylish, and feature-packed phone. Without spending too much, this could easily be one of the best choices out there. If you made it this far, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let me know in the comments what you think about this phone and what you want to see next.